Bringing yourself into a comfortable upright position, using cushions underneath you if you need those. Or a cushion behind you, perhaps folded over initially. Bringing the lower body back in the chair and the mid-back supported. Our aim is to be more upright through the sides of our body, allowing the upper chest to be comfortably open, the shoulders to release, and the head to sit on top. It can be helpful to imagine that you've got a book on top of your head, because if you had a book on top of your head, that would keep your head upright. If your chin was lifted, your book would fall off backwards. If your chin was down, then your book would fall off forwards. And once you have that comfortable position, that you're feeling free, allow your jaw to relax. A sense of letting it go. We're going to focus initially on our breath, allowing us some time to settle into how we are breathing. Perhaps noticing the sensation of your breath in your nostrils, that it feels a little cooler as it goes up and in, as the breath comes from outside, and it feels a little warmer and softer as it comes out, having been inside your body. If we bring our awareness to that area inside our nostrils, where the hairs, they grow downwards, and that helps to filter any particles that come in with the air, protecting our throats and lungs. And this is another reason that breathing through the nose is recommended. Mouth breathing invites more to come into our lungs and can create a situation where we might get more throat, chest issues if we are a regular mouth breather. We want to feel as though the throat is subtly drawn, especially the top of the throat, back and up, almost as if this top part of your throat is smiling. So it's drawn back and lifted, just like your smile lifts up towards your eyes. The throat can feel as though it's moving in and up towards the corners of your ears. And that can assist with allowing the back of the neck to feel a little more lengthened and letting the head sit appropriately on top of the spine. We might think of that as allowing us to have more space through our throat, through the trachea, into the bronchioles, into our lungs. So physiologically, the lungs are very similar in construction to trees, branches. We have the large tube that comes down into our chest and diverts off into both sides of our chest, into the two lungs. And gradually those branches of tubes become smaller. And as they get smaller and smaller and smaller, so the air is channeled deeper and deeper. Eventually they become almost like bunches of grapes. And the alveoli are sort of almost not balls, but they allow the blood to flow around them in a very thin layer, one cell, and then the oxygen can transfer into the blood. And then the carbon dioxide is taken back into the air sacs and released into the air. So if you want to close your eyes for a moment, imagine if you're able, that as you bring the breath in through the nostrils, cool and sharp, that it travels towards the back of the throat, below the smiling throat, down into the tubes, into the lungs, and all the way to those little bunches of grapes. And it gives the oxygen to the blood, which is then taken to the heart and pumped around the body. And from the heart, the blood with the carbon dioxide travels to the lungs and exchanges the oxygen for carbon dioxide. We breathe out more carbon dioxide. Of course, we breathe in carbon dioxide, oxygen and nitrogen. We breathe out carbon dioxide, oxygen and nitrogen. The body takes what it needs and then releases back more carbon dioxide. But it also releases out some oxygen and the nitrogen. If we invite ourselves to breathe a little more deeply, we may imagine those bunches of grapes and send the breath into as many of those as we can. In the bottom, the middle, the top, in the sides, the front, the back, all the way around. A gentle sense of filling and then a wonderful sense of emptying, sending back the carbon dioxide, the oxygen, the nitrogen out into the atmosphere again. For the trees and the plants, the birds, the animals and the other people to take their part, their bit of the air. I wonder how well you felt you were breathing, how deeply you were aware of those areas of your body that you're breathing with. We're going to begin by experiencing the breath moving into the different parts of the body. We'll begin with an area that's perhaps easily accessible when we're sitting on a chair, and that's the sides of the body. If you bring your awareness firstly to your right side, feel your right ribs. You can put your hand there if you want to, just check in. And so if we think of them as starting just to the front side, round to the back side, they're all the way around. And we may open that side by tipping over to the left and feeling that breath there. Perhaps with the backs of your fingers resting on the ribs, or the hand open and splayed, or let the arm hang down and feel your ribs from within. Can I experience that breath in the side of my lungs? Can I send the breath into the front side, back of the lungs, that right side? Maybe wanting to take the fingertips to the shoulder and lift the elbow. Feeling that breath flowing into the right-hand side of the body. Or a hand could rest on the head. And you're aware of the breath in that right side. Take another 2 deep breaths, feeling that side of the body expanding as if you were an inflating balloon between your armpit and your waist. And then softly releasing to the center, letting that arm come down. Aware of the difference between the 2 sides. So if you've now focused on breathing into both sides, you may feel a difference, more response on the right side than you do on the left. Perhaps there's a sense of more space to fill, having worked a little at stretching and opening that right side. Moving our attention to the left side of the body now, And you may want to lean slightly over. You can leave the arm down. You could have the fingers rest on the bottom ribs on the side. Remembering that we're working front, side and back of the side ribs. Perhaps imagining I've got a balloon between waist and armpit. And as we breathe in, we inflate. As we breathe out, we empty and feel those ribs slightly contract in towards the center. As we breathe in, we feel that expansion and the breath is pulled in and it's spread into all those little groups of grapes at the end of the body. Now we go live, spreading and opening, allowing the exchange of gases to happen with the blood. And then we breathe out and we let it go. So once again, you may find it helpful to stretch a little more. Or the hand on top of the head and find that breath, filling, expanding, inflating your balloon. And as you breathe out, deflating as completely as you can. The more we empty safely, create more space to fill. One more beautiful breath, expanding your left ribs. And softly releasing yourself back to the center and pausing there. Experiencing the sensations at the side of the body and then breathing into those sides. Perhaps they're both now a little more similar in the space you have to breathe. We're going to sneak forward now, so perhaps unfolding our black cushion at the back, moving the sitting bones forward and feeling we have some space behind us. So we're thinking more in terms of the back body now, so between the back of the shoulders down to the back of the waist and coming around, that whole area at the back of the body. And we're looking to experience some movement, whatever movement we have, and remembering that sometimes movement may be more discerned one side or another, particularly if we have a slightly imbalanced spine. So whatever it works for you. I find it helpful to have the hands on the knees or possibly drop the forearms onto the thighs, depending. So it's a slightly rounded back. We don't need to force the head up to let the head look slightly down towards the floor. Feet are firmly placed and we bring our awareness to that back. So between the top of the shoulder blades down to the back of the waist. Imagine perhaps an enormous balloon in that area. And as you take your breath in, you feel that that breath is inflating that balloon at the back of the body. And as you breathe out, you contract. Feel the back of the body softening and sinking and releasing down. So the vertebrae at the back, the thoracic ones where the ribs join onto the spine, that's where we're working to stretch. Open those back ribs and let them gently soften back in as we breathe out. Avoid hunching the shoulders, keep that sense of space across the back of the shoulders. Beautiful long breaths out to create the space in the back of the body for you to fill. Without force, this is a rhythmic inflation and deflation. Feel that sense of I'm allowing my breath to fill me, like blowing up a balloon. You do it gradually and gently until the point where the balloon is full. You don't want to overinflate, it will burst. So where is comfortably full? Then we're able to then let the air out and out and out and out until we feel that there's no air left out to go out. One more beautiful inflation and deflation of your back balloon. Aware of the sensations that you're experiencing of that expansion in the back. And then slowly sitting back up again, as tall as you can comfortably, and experiencing a sense that I can now breathe into the sides and the back. I will feel the sides and the back. I'm really aware of them expanding with my breath and then deflating, emptying. So the final area, with three-dimensional, is the front. The front may be the area that we are generally more conscious of when we breathe. And it can bring about a sense of mostly breathing in the front upper chest. Obviously, what we're looking for is the breath going all the way down to the bottom ribs. So from your collarbones, if you fancy feeling those at the top, just inside there, over the top, whoop, near the neck, top of the lungs, coming all the way down to just below or just above the bottom of the ribs, so the diaphragm sits around here. We have all this space at the front to fill with air, as well as the sides and the back, but we're focusing at the moment at the front. So in order to allow more breath at the front, we're going to gently open this area of the body, very gently, no forcing, and slightly contract the back. And then it will allow the breath to be felt more easily at the front body. So you may find you could hold on to the back of your chair or the sides of your chair and lengthen a little through the front throat to breastbone to bottom of the breastbone. A little bit, not a big back bend, just a little one. And then as you breathe in, feel yourself filling that front balloon from base of throat to base of sternum, breastbone. You might like the balloon image again. You're inflating your balloon till it feels full. And you're deflating your balloon till it feels empty. Notice the sensations, notice how the ribs might expand, pushing the belly lightly forward, lifting the upper chest perhaps slightly. And then contracting the upper belly, chest dropping back, collarbones dropping down. One more. And softly releasing back to your center. If you wish to move back on your chair once more into a more comfortable position. And although we're not leaning against the back, we may have a sense that we can really feel the chest now. The ribs, the side, the front, the back, the whole area. We could imagine that as we breathe in, we're filling the front, then the sides, then the back. And as we breathe out, the back, then the sides, then the front. Your balloons, one at the front, one either side, one at the back, and fill them, breathing in, front, sides, back. Breathing out, back, sides, front. Filling from front to back. Emptying from back to front. One more, filling front, sides, back, and emptying back, sides, front. And then you may like to take your hands and give them a little shake. So shake those hands. Let's get some movement going in the body now. Shaking as vigorously and comfortably as you can. So if you're trying to get the water off the ends of the fingers. Then you can shake the lower arms. You'll go up a little bit into the upper arms. And then you shake shoulders. Gently, comfortably for you. Then you can shake the head, shoulders a little bit gently, not giving yourself any dizziness. Move the body, keep the head still if you want. Move the chest. And shaky, wiggly, rolly, whatever feels good for you. And then come back to center and pause. Aware of the vibrations. Shaking, wiggling, wriggling, excellent ways of releasing tension, releasing stress, calming ourselves down. It will change the way we are. And of course, if you're standing, you could perhaps shake your legs out and do a little dance around the kitchen whenever the mood takes you. Or perhaps the mood doesn't take you and you do it anyway. We'll bring our awareness to our legs. If you have your belt with you, you can use that as you require, perhaps to help support the leg. If you have your belt, I'm using mine in half because I find that less to contend with, and I'll place it underneath my right thigh. Then I'm in a position to lift the leg up. If we find we've got blocks or something underneath our feet, we can move those to one side out of our way. I'll bring our awareness to our right foot. Begin by pulling the toes up towards the knee and then pointing the foot away. Breathing in, it comes up. Breathing out, down. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time. And circling, so perhaps imagine you've got a pencil between your toes. You're breathing in, lifting the foot up, breathing out, round and away. Inhale, exhale. So although we're joint releasing, we're also mindful of our movements and working with our breath. One more time in that direction. And changing your direction. Imagine you've got either a pencil on the end of your big toe, perhaps it's your heel you find easier. Focusing on rotating wherever that leg foot will allow you to go. Working the ankle joint. You may feel this into the sole of your foot as well. And then resting that leg down. Pausing for a moment. And checking in, noticing the difference between the two sides. We find that helpful to reaffirm that what I'm doing has made a difference. I have changed something, I've released something, I've increased space, movement, mobility, and I know it's worth doing. So same leg, we haven't let go of that leg yet. We're going to lift it up once more, supporting it, find a little control through your center, and then we can allow the lower leg. So from your knee down, forget your foot, that's no longer any consequence, it's there. And we're moving it around gently, rotating the lower leg wherever it can. Some people don't go very far. And then we bring our breath in, breathe, breathe out. And change direction, breathe in, out. Swing that leg gently. If you haven't got anything behind you on your chair, you can swing that leg gently forwards and backwards. So loosen up that knee joint. Lubricating the joints, and then placing that foot down. We are going to switch the other side now, but as we do that, we can bring our awareness to the sensations in the knee, down the lower leg, in the ankle, noticing the difference between the two sides. So we're ready to engage through the center and let that leg come up, holding the strap or hands. And once again, we're breathing in, lifting the toes up towards the knee, breathing out, pointing the foot gently away. In, out. in with your own breath. One more time. Aware of your toe circling in, out. Changing direction, in, out. And then resting the foot down for a moment. Moving to the lower leg, lifting the leg up once more. Shin circles. In, out. In, out. Changing direction. In, out. In, and swinging the leg very subtly, nice and smoothly, wherever yours will go, enjoying the sensation of freedom in your knee. And letting that foot come down onto the floor. Experiencing both legs. Moving our awareness up to the hip. So take our right leg once more. If you're using a strap, you can place it around. Alternatively, if you don't want it around under there, you can put it around in front of your knee. That may help you to lift that leg up a little more easily. And then you're rotating the thigh into the hip socket, breathing in and breathing out. Of course, you can do this with one hand or with both hands. Whatever feels appropriate for you. Making allowance for any discomfort, so sitting tall, using a little strength through the center of the body, and then taking it in the other direction. Where does your leg want to move in your hip socket? If it's uncomfortable, do less. Do small movements. Explore. Go on a little adventure in your own body. And placing the first leg down, pausing for a moment, experiencing sensations hopefully up here. So it might be helpful to think of this as a sort of the handle of a stirring stick or a wooden spoon, and this is your handle, and this is where the spoon is. So as we move that leg around, we're stirring with the spoon into the hip socket. It's not about the knee or the lower leg or the ankle or the foot, it's all about the hip. So holding on to the other side when you're ready, and beginning your small movements with your breath. One direction. If it becomes too much, simply stop. You can pick it up again or take it in the other direction and coming the other way. One more time. And releasing and observing the sensations in your body. I'm going to hook my strap over the back of my chair for a moment. So how are those legs feeling? What's going on in them? We're going to take them into a little more stretching. So I'm suggesting that you hold on to the sides of your chair, perhaps moving the pelvis forward a little bit. So you're on the chair safely, but near the edge of it, so that your sitting bones are just on it, not off it, keeping it safe. And we're going to also allow a little bit of strength work through the center now. So you want to be working at holding yourself upright so that we aren't letting the back sink and sag. We're as upright as we can be, and we're working within our own capacity. So subject to what your floor is like, mine happens to be the carpet here, and we're going to slide the heel away. So we're going to push the heel away. And we're going to breathe in here, and as we breathe out, we're going to push the right heel away until the leg is sort of straight. It doesn't have to be completely straight. As we pull the leg back up, we want to engage these lower abdominal muscles to help. So we're going to breathe in and pull that leg up, feeling those muscles working. Same leg, breathe out, push it away. Breathe in, pull that leg up. Breathe out, slide the heel away. Breathe in, pull that leg up. Breathe out, slide that leg away. One more time. And pause. Checking in, how are you feeling? What's going on? Switching to the other side. So engaging through that side of the body, feel that's engaged, it's ready to work. And you breathe in here. As you breathe out, you push that leg away. And you use those abdominals to pull that leg in. Breathe out, push that leg away. Breathe in, pull that leg up. Breathe out. Pull. One more. And rest. Noticing, observing what's going on in your body. Then we're going to either do that again, each side, if that's where you are at the moment. If you're feeling a little more ready to take it another level, you breathe out, slide it away, breathe in, pull it to you and up a little bit. Breathe out, push down and away, breathe in, pull it to you and up a bit. And that extra up gives you more power here and you have to use a little more. So either the same as you did, or at the end of that inhale, lifting the foot off the floor slightly. So breathing in when you're ready. As you breathe out, push away as you did before. As you breathe in, pull towards you as close as you can get and then heel off the floor. Breathe in, push the foot down, slide the heel away. Out. Breathe in, pull it up. Breathe out, slide away. Breathe in to you as close as you can get and then up. One more. And rest. Moving to the other side, depending on you, either repeating the sliding forward and backwards or adding the lift. Breathe in where you are. Breathing out, slide the heel away. As you breathe in, pull to as close as you can get and then lift. Breathe out, pull in. Two more. And rest. Probably a good idea to move a little bit further back on your chair now, just a bit, so that you're more stable. And I wonder if you're able to cross your right ankle over your left. That's okay for your knees, ankles. Be there for a moment. So right ankle is in front, left ankle is behind. And we're going to take ourselves through small twists, rotations. So when we rotate, as you will remember, your rotating starts from the bottom of your ribs, back of the waist almost, or just above that. And then we're moving a little bit more around the middle of the chest, and then we can move the upper chest, shoulders, and then if we wish to, the head and neck. Again, it may be helpful to use that image of a book on top of your head to feel that sense of lifting up and extension through the spine. So we are lengthening to twist, rotate, rather than scrunching down and rotating. We have as much space in our body as we can. The right hand can come on top of the right knee or move across onto the outside of the left knee. The left arm can either be at the side of the chair or around towards the back of the chair, whatever works for you. Grow through the top of your head, take a deep, comfortable breath in. And as you rotate, begin at the bottom of your ribs, then the middle of the ribs, then the top of the ribs, then the shoulders, head, neck. And staying there for 3 breaths. Returning to center when you're ready. Leaving the legs crossed just as they are. We're going to turn in the opposite direction. So this time the left hand might come to the outside of the right thigh. If that's too far, put it on top of the right knee or the left knee. Grow through your book on top of your head. Hand can come behind you. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, rotate the ribs a little to the right, chest to the right, armpits to the right, shoulders to the right, head, chin, face, if that's comfortable. Holding for 3 breaths. Experience your breath in the sides of your body as you do this. Remember, we've already expanded those. We found those at the beginning. Releasing back to the front after your 3 breaths. You may have noticed that when we went to the right, we have the right leg in front, we went to the right, that was perhaps a slightly tighter twist, rotation, than it was when we went to the left. The leg that we have in front or on top is always going to be taking us to a closing twist when we turn towards it. So the right leg is in front, on top, we'll be closing twist towards the right and more of an opening twist to the left. We're going to cross the legs the other way now, and we'll take ourselves to the right first, because the right side, left ankle is in front. As we rotate to the right, it's an opening twist. We've just been there, but it will feel perhaps a little easier this time, something to notice. And when you're breathing into those side balloons, noticing which one perhaps is more responsive than the other. Left hand on the outside or on top of the knee, right knee, and then when you feel ready, breathe in up through the top of your head and rotating ribs, chest, armpits, shoulders, head, neck. Staying for 3 breaths. As you return, when you've done your 3 breaths, pause for a moment. So you may be aware of that slight change. It was perhaps easier to rotate that time. than it was when you had your other ankle in front, crossing the legs the other, oh sorry, staying with the legs crossed that way and rotating to the other side, closing twist to the left. Breathing in, lengthening, and as you breathe out, again taking ribs, chest, upper chest, throat, head around, and staying for 3 breaths. Returning to the center when you're ready, untying the legs. And softly releasing your spine, you may want to fold from the tops of your legs, coming forward, propping yourself up. Or if your head, eyes are fine, you might come all the way down and rest either forearms on your legs, head hanging, or rest your chest completely down on your thighs and the arms hanging and the head hanging. And an opportunity to breathe into the back of your body once more. When you feel ready, press down through your feet, then down through your sit bones, bring yourself back up. The feet firmly on the floor. If you require a block or something underneath your feet, bring it back. We've loosened up the spine a little bit. Hopefully that's feeling a little freer. Do any wiggles and wriggles that you need to. A little more action now with the body. So it may be appropriate to move slightly further forward, safely on your chair, so you have a little more room with your feet. And we're going to take our hands and have the hands slightly out from us and sweep the arms to one side and sweep the arms to the other side. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. It's wherever your arms go to. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more. And resting in the center. Checking, noting how that feels. And then bringing the hands up, slightly bent elbows probably this time. And from the middle, we're going to turn the hand and we're going to shoot the arm out to the side. So if we're emptying the table, scoop everything off. Scoop everything off. Scoop everything off. And then changing sides, scoop everything off. Clear the decks. Clear the decks. Send it away. And then we keep our chest to the front, and we can do it with both. Almost like a breaststroke. Be careful, avoid straining your shoulders. Sweep it away. Sweep it away. And keep the arms quite low. Sweep it away. Sweep it away. One more time. Sweep it away. Woof. And notice how you feel. That's a little more energy buzzing in you at the moment. The hands are resting on the knees or near the knees. You're going to take one arm up, the right arm up. Breathe in, breathe out. Wherever your arm goes. Other side. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. One more. Each side. All right, changing that now. So as your right hand goes up, your left leg will lift your left hand up. So opposite arm, knee comes up, back down. Other side, breathe in, knee pushes other hand that's on, down. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, engage the center. In, breathe out. One more time each side. Doing well. And rest. If it's possible, walk the feet a little wider apart. So you've got a slightly wider stance. Same thing. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Your legs may only be a little wider. What works for you? I lost that. And resting. Going back to center, checking in. And when we use opposite sides, we're encouraging our brains to use both hemispheres at the same time. And that helps to stimulate our brains with cross-patterning and working through. So bringing the fingertips to the shoulders or towards the shoulders, bringing your awareness to the backs of your upper arms and pull those elbows back and back to the waist. Pull the elbows back, not in, just straight back. Push the elbows back. So if I do it from the side, it's just going straight back. We're looking for some sensation through this side, the back of the arm. Pushing them back, pushing them back, pushing them back. One more time. If you have room behind you on your chair, it's not got anything that's going to be in the way and there's nothing behind you, we can do that and extend it. So push back and straighten behind, back and forwards. In, out, in, out. You want to add fists, you can. A little bit of more resistance. So when you straighten those arms, really push them if you can and feel those muscles working. One more time. And rest. And hopefully you've got some sensation, and you may also have some sensation here when you did the folding your arms up with the biceps, triceps working together. Noticing how that feels. Lift the shoulders up to the ears. Ooh, squeeze and let them drop. Lift the shoulders up to the ears, squeeze and let them drop. One more time. Lovely. Bring the fingertips to the shoulders. Very gently, no forcing. Letting one elbow move up and wherever it wants to go over the top. As it comes down, the other one goes up. So this is a little bit like doing a backstroke. They can be really small backstrokes. If you wish to, let the body roll. And you can take more of the body into that movement if it feels good for you. Moving where your body feels it wants to go. And almost like a little dance. Really enjoying that sensation of movement. Then when you're ready, you can come back to the center. And we can take a little forward front crawl type of strokes. If it becomes uncomfortable in your shoulders, stop, rest, begin again another time. Of course, this is possible to do this with the whole arm if you choose to. The same with the backstroke. Coming to rest when you're ready and checking with you how you feel. So having worked those shoulders a little bit, there may be a little tightness across those shoulders. So you might want to take one hand and put it up there and just give a squeeze across the tops of your shoulders into that big muscle at the top of your trapezius and your rhomboids, and pressing in there a little bit, maybe up the side of your neck. Then you can come to the other side and do the similar thing. It may feel really nice to do that. It's like, oh, somebody else would do it for you. But if you haven't got anybody else, or they're not able to do it, then you can do it yourself. You can give yourself some love, some appreciation. Allow that massaging gently to happen. And release. And you're going to take your hand, so turning your left hand up, and take your right hand and put your right hand on top of your left hand and gently stroke all the way up your right arm and across to your throat. Up the left hand, all the way up and across to your throat. So if you breathe in as you come up your arm and out as you go back to the middle. One more time. Pausing and observing the sensations on the two sides. Perhaps there's a very different feeling about that left arm now. It feels different. And then we can caress the other side, breathing in, up the forearm, hand, across the shoulder, breathe out to the throat. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. You may find closing your eyes allows you to feel that even more. Slow breath in. Slow, slow breath towards the heart. Two more. Generous, loving kindness to yourself. And observe how you feel. The inner hands, inner forearm are quite sensitive areas, and that can be a really releasing and calming practice, even if it's just the hand and the forearm. It feels slightly different from doing the back of the hand. And you might like to play with that idea. And we're going to sit back now. If you feel you need anything else to be doing, you might want to bend your back forwards again. Give yourself a little rounding back. Feel free to do that. Just sit for a moment, or turn your cushion over once more and support your lumbar as you require. Bring your blocks, bolsters, books underneath your feet and find yourself in the center, back where you are. So we began with our breath. We began experiencing our breath in the sides, in the back, in the front, integrating them all together. I thought it would be nice to end with a practice using a mudra, if you wish to, a gesture, to expand the breath. That is not the same thing as forcing it. It's allowing the breath to come into those lungs and find all those spaces, those little bunches of grapes, where we can have a really decent exchange of oxygen and keep ourselves healthy. Now, another way of helping us to keep healthy and aerate, and there's been some research on this, is to keep a sense of the nitric oxide in our bodies, and that can be helped by humming. So I'm sure you're all wonderful at humming. And we're going to begin with the practice. If you find your hands uncomfortable in this gesture, please feel free to bring your hands down, or you can put them into Mridanga Mudra instead, which is a full breath mudra, and Then we're going to allow ourselves to begin to hum and experience the vibrations in the face and the throat. So we want a relatively deep hum, rather than a. We're not looking for the B hum particularly today, but a nice, comfortable, expanded hum that you feel the vibrations of. So the gesture is very simple, but that doesn't necessarily mean it works for you. The hands are held facing each other. They can come down facing, so the fingertips are facing out. And we're going to bend the middle finger and bring the very first section of the middle fingers to touch. So the finger is made into 3 sections, 1, 2, 3. We're bringing the nail section of the middle fingers to touch, and the other fingers are all up. So then we can simply rest it down near our navel or rest the forearms on our legs and have that gesture. So it's only, I'll turn it around the other way so you may be able to see more easily that way. The first section of the middle finger touching. Dirghasvara Mudra, the gesture of expanded breath. Notice your breath with this gesture. This gesture is particularly helpful for increasing the breath capacity, expanding the free flow of the life force, which is, of course, prana. Releasing constriction of the rib cage. So if we're slightly finding restriction in our ribs, this will help. Supporting the alignment of the spine, able to sit up beautifully. It is also deemed to help us to create enthusiasm and vitality. And I think we can all do with some enthusiasm and vitality. So allow this gesture to settle, and it may not be an easy gesture to maintain. The hands may be challenged by it. If they become too challenged, let go of the mudra and come back to it, or change to Meridanda Mudra, which, if you remember, is fists with the thumbs facing up to the ceiling. Perhaps closing your eyes or dropping your gaze, keeping your head resting on top. Imaginary book, if that helps. And with this increased capacity in our chests, we will begin to hum. We're going to hum 8 times. When you're ready, breathe out. Allow your breath to fill front, back, sides, and then you'll breathe out. Work at your own capacity. Releasing your mudra, your hands come to rest. Aware of the vibrations, of the sensations in your hands, perhaps any changes in the movement in your chest. Increased sense of vitality. Of course, you can continue that practice for longer or repeat it several times a day. Bring you those benefits. The hum allows us to increase our exhale without strain or struggle. It also supports our immune systems. So use it well. Bring your palms together at your heart space. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Encouraging self-love, that we may love ourselves truly, deeply, and that supports us in loving and giving to others. Send yourself a message of unconditional love. Namaste.